Welcome back, Halo followers. Today we're going to be breaking down who is the Harbinger. The Harbinger appeared finally, although we've been having hints of the Harbinger for years now, really with no idea exactly who he or she or what it was. And now we finally have some details and some cutscenes involving the Harbinger. And I want to talk a little bit about this, including some inside sources from what I've heard, which may be spoilery, it may or may not be true. But I also want to talk about what we saw in the campaign overview. So yeah, she kind of kicks Master Chief's butt. Why there has been hints and rumors of a specific enemy or an army called the Harbinger or Harbinger Army. There is actually a direct mention already in one of the gameplay premieres or trailers that was actually last year in 2020. As Shuram said, the Harbinger and the Banished share the same goal. We fight together to honor the will of Atriox. In a way, this is kind of shocking because I firmly believe that the Harbinger is a Forerunner entity. Firstly, you might recognize this figure, and this figure does look a lot like a prelate. A prelate is a San Shayom, the same species as the prophets, and these were basically genetically enhanced super soldier San Shayom. These guys are pretty badass, but it has been confirmed that this is not a prelate, and also there is a different amount of fingers, so yeah, this is something completely new. Based on her design and her short interaction with Chief here, we can tell a few things. She is not a big fan of Chief, she does not like the Chief, and she is going to punch Chief in the damn face, and he is going to fly very, very far. This is certainly confirming that there is going to be some kind of boss battle involving her. I think that's a given, but the fact is that I believe that this character is not banished. I do not believe that this is a new species, because basically from what I heard from my inside sources is that this is a Forerunner, and that this is this is a whole thing that you can, keep it or leave it, but this is what I believe, and this is what I was told, and so far everything's been right from what I've been told, is that this is a Forerunner type, just like the Prometheans, but is now being made into a new type, a new subtype of Foreigners, if you will, just like the Prometheans, and they are called the Endless, and that makes a lot of sense. So there is probably going to be an army involving the Harbinger, and that is going to cause quite a lot of problems with Chief. We actually see these things called skimmers, although they are using shock rifles and attacking a Forerunner entity, which is interesting because now that I think about it, it doesn't quite disqualify these guys being Harbingers. Maybe they are directly under the influence of the Harbinger, but they share quite a lot of the same traits, like the same armor, the same creepiness, I mean, these guys do not look like they would fit very well into the Banished army. However, they are using Banished weapons. So I have to wonder, since we've heard about this for a long time, is that these are Harbinger soldiers. The Harbinger army is working with the Banished. And not only that, in this clip, these skimmers are attacking this Forerunner device, which would absolutely make sense because it seems that the Harbinger has turned against the Foreigners, has turned against the structures and whatever, and because they must. I mean, you look at the Banished, they are taking over the Forerunner structures. So very interesting mix up here. We have a Endless Harbinger attacking the Foreigners themselves. We'll wonder why. My theory for quite some time has been that Cortana was going to alliance herself with the Banished, but after knowing some of the story, it seems like that most likely, at least according to my sources, which have been right, that is not going to be the case. Instead, what I believe based on that information is that the Harbinger has taken the role that I've been theorizing for like 5 years now, is that she is going to be the powerful Forerunner position, the character that is assisting the Banished in getting their goals met. But the fact is that the Harbinger is not guiding the Banished, but rather being guided by Atriox. So I really have to wonder why and make her turn against the Foreigners. What's been frustrating for a long time is that we don't know the Banished's real motivation. We do know that they wanted the Halo ring and they failed to get it in Halo Wars 2, and we still don't really know their motivation with what led to Zeta Halo blowing up, with the war here, how they defeated the UNSC, and what they're doing on Zeta Halo and why the army is here in the first place. And on top of that, I wonder how it ties into the Harbinger's dialogue, because she says this, all right? The Forerunner's lies are at an end. I am the Harbinger of the truth. And remember, now she's following Atriox, right? And like I've said for a long time, I think Atriox is sort of like a reboot of the prophets, right? Instead of 3 prophets, it's just one dude, Atriox. And she says also to Chief, you are not the future. Maybe she's talking about the UNSC. She's talking about humanity. I know it's probably kind of dorky, but let's look at the definition of Harbinger. The definition says, a person or thing that announces or signals the approach of another. And remember, she said that she is the Harbinger of the truth. There's also something or a place called the Auditorium, which is definitely going to be a pretty important place in Halo Infinite's campaign. And I wonder how this all ties into the story and what this supposed truth is. And perhaps I misspoke earlier. Perhaps the Harbinger is not following Atriox and the Banished, but instead they just have the same motivation. They have the same goal, which is interesting. I wonder what that truth is that they believe so much. So if this is the Harbinger, she is very powerful. Firstly, she can alter and change Forerunner technology around her, it seems. Although that's pretty heavy speculation. She can fly, and she does actually appear and disappear. She can teleport much like the Prometheans could. And also she has these balls of electricity that deliver some very powerful blows. I do want to mention something that is actually done pretty well in this trailer is a hard cut, but you actually don't really see it. It's because it's cut so well, but Master Chief, all around him, he is inside a Forerunner structure, and then right when he gets punched, he is thrown out into the wild as if he was punched backwards. But it may be one of 2 things. This may have just been a clever cut, so Master Chief is going to be fighting with her outside, but it could also be that when you get hit by these powerful blows of electricity, at least in this cutscene anyway, when Master Chief gets hit, he's actually teleported as well outside of the Forerunner chamber that he was in, which I think is kind of a cool concept. But let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Guys, this is pretty much everything I know at this point about the Harbinger, everything I could say on my mind. There may have been some things I missed, but let me know if you think I'm hitting it on the nail or I'm missing entirely, and why down in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys think, and be sure to smash that like button blue and subscribe. Join the journey of following Halo for over 10 years here on Halo Follower, and it would be great to have you. So I'll catch you guys in the next one soon, alright? Peace.